Hey everyone.
Well,
Welcome
now that we're
to
done making fun of old white horrible men.
Yeah, he's pretty horrible. Welcome to another episode of We Don't Watch Movies featuring me,
Ooh.
Kareen.
And me, Monze.
Oh.
Oh, the pause.
Dramatic.
I'm so
Today we
dramatic.
are going to talk about Strange World. I keep wanting to call it Strange Planet or some derivative of that, but Strange Planet is the Nathan W. Pyle comic,
Okay, I
not
believe
this
you. I
movie.
don't know what we're talking about, so.
But yes, we are talking about Strange World. Monzi, why have you not seen this movie?
It just came out, right?
No,
It did, like a few months ago, like a
that's
month
not.
ago.
It came out in November.
No, it did not.
Yes, it did.
It did
Yes,
not. It could not have been
it did.
November. That
It's.
does not compute for
It
me.
came out last year.
Are you sure it didn't come out February? I thought it came out like February.
Would I lie to you, Monzi?
Yes, you
No.
would.
No, I'm literally staring at this thing that says
The
release
release
date
date? Oh my
November
god.
23rd, 2022. Maybe it hit Disney Plus
You
in
know what?
February,
You know
but
what? Maybe it did hit Disney Plus in February.
mhm. Oh
Okay.
no, the release date for streaming was in December, so
What?
you really have no
Really?
excuse.
I really. My goodness. Okay. Well, well, clearly, I don't even know when this movie came out. Second, I don't know. I wanted to see it
Yeah,
because I'm always down to watch a Disney film.
yeah.
But I really have not been on my game. Like, I still haven't seen Raya and the Last Dragon. Like,
We talked about that one.
we did. Still haven't seen it since the last time we talked about it as a recording of this episode. Yeah, I haven't seen it. My mom and Gwen watched it. My sister watched it, apparently, without me.
Oh.
No one asked.
Oh.
Just like Raya and the Last Dragon. Anyway, not to throw shade at anybody. But... So, no, I haven't seen it. I guess it just hasn't come up in my life yet.
I see.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see it, of course,
Right.
but it just hasn't happened for me.
It's just a matter of circumstances why you haven't
Yeah,
seen
much
it.
like my love life, it just hasn't happened for me. So, I'm still waiting to watch Strange World.
You're waiting for it to just happen to you rather than seeking it out.
Yeah. Look,
Yeah.
we're not here to call me out, okay? I'm just telling you the facts of life.
Understandable.
Yeah, so that's my answer. Can we move on?
I see. Okay, yes, we'll move on. Cool. What do you think happens in this movie?
Okay. When I first saw the first trailer, I was like, no, sir. No idea.
Yeah.
No idea. What is going on? I don't know what this is about. This is a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I saw like a second trailer where or something where I saw like there was like a family. Okay, so this is what I think it's about. The grandfather, grandpappy, granddad. He used to be an explorer. He used to explore space, and then he went missing. And then he had a son, and his son was like, I want to be just like my dad. But then his dad went missing. He was like, no, I'm not gonna be like my dad. I'm gonna be completely different. So he gets married and he has a son. And his son is like, I'm crazy and wild and I want to be adventurous. And the dad is like, we know what happens when we go on adventures. And the son's like, we lose ourselves and we abandon our families. Anyway. And he's like, that's right, son. And then I'm assuming the original son, so the dad, finds either like a key or a spaceship that belonged to his dad, or he gets like a message, or diverging a little bit, or someone comes back and is like, we need you because you're the only one who knows anything about your father's research or something. And he's like, I'm not into that anymore. I'm a tax man, attorney, accountant. I don't know what words are. And so he ends up getting roped into it. Maybe his son overhears and he's like, Dad, we need to do this. And he's like, no, son, remember our, yes, I know. But of course, the son actually activates something, so they end up going in like this spaceship. Like they're all like, "Oh no, it was totally accidental." But I guess now we're in time for an adventure. And so they end up going to this strange world. And maybe his dad used to tell him stories about this place, and he was like, "Whoa, this is just like the stories of my dad." But I still resent him anyway. And then like they end up finding him in this strange world, and maybe the grandfather doesn't remember his son, and so then like the dad is like, "I can't believe my dad doesn't remember me." And then they, and this is where I don't know what happens. I mean, I can't tell how close I am to anything. And because your face has just been exactly the same the entire time. It's just like, yeah, so they get there, and I don't know, maybe there's like a time vortex or something. Maybe there's someone evil, there's probably a bad guy, I don't know. And then the father and the grandfather and the son and the mom, because the mom is there, I'm sure she's awesome. They're all there, and they figure something out, and then they all go back to the home, and we're like, yay! And then the father is like, Dad, to grandfather, he's like, Dad, I missed you and I love you, and I guess so adventure is good sometimes. And the son is like, yeah, adventure! You know, so. And that's strange world.
Okay. So, the first, like, 30 seconds of you describing what you thought the movie was about is, like, right on the money.
Okay, I figured part of it was right on the money.
Like, you have the character dynamics down 100%. It's just...
Character's my best thing, I'm not gonna lie.
I was like, am I sure Monze hasn't seen this movie? It was like...
I went completely divergent. You were like, she hasn't.
Yeah. It was very, 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 very close in the very beginning. There's a couple details that are off for you, but the core main point of the movie, if we look at the relationship strand, it's like almost 100% correct.
Yeah, what can I say? I'm so good. I am so good.
Yeah, you're. This is probably your best summary that you've ever done. This is the closest one you've ever gotten to a movie. I'm literally sitting here like, oh shit. Okay.
What can I teach her? Nothing.
So here's the trailer.
From Disney, Clade Farms. Oh, I don't think I've seen this one. Have you ever wondered what adventures await? I love his hair. Oh no, his dad is missing.
Whoa! What kind of airship is that? I've never seen anything like it. Baby Clade! What is the president doing in our...
Oh yes, I do think I've seen this trailer.
The world is in grave danger. I want you to come with me
Yes.
on an expedition.
I'm not my father. He was the explorer.
I know you were just...
Oh!
Ooh.
You're all we got. We can't do this without you.
I know. I was like,
You're fine. Oh.
Your dad. Do you think you could forge his
Forge his autograph. Still haven't seen Big Hero 6. So.
Are we?
Oh,
Ethan, you brought the dog?
we have to bring the dog. Encanto. I'm in Encanto. Oh no, it's not my dad, is it?
Hello. You probably don't understand a word I'm saying.
Of course I understand you.
Huh?
Dad? Dad? Grandpa?
I'm a grandpa.
Uh-oh. Oh, this Thanksgiving. Wow. With the sound of music.
And the water will soak
That's
the flesh
awful.
off your bones.
Everything down here is trying to kill us.
That's cute.
Do you mind if I call you Splat? You just kind of give me Splat vibes.
Ow! I guess I deserve
Okay, 3 generations.
Grandpa's awesome. Awesome. You gave me a machete for my birthday?
Classic Jaeger claimed.
I was 2.
I'm loving this family reunion. Come on.
We gotta save the world.
We need you to figure this out, otherwise we're doomed. We are doomed!
Wait, seriously? No, I'm just messing with you.
Oh no!
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, that man just straight up died.
Jake Gyllenhaal and Dennis Quaid.
Reunited with Dennis Quaid 20 years after the
They
day
were in a
after
movie
tomorrow.
together?
They were
Oh.
Day After Tomorrow.
I think I watched a movie and I didn't like it. Or I don't remember really caring. I think I watched it under duress. Not under duress.
Under duress.
Pretty sure
watch
I was
that
forced
movie,
to
like,
watch it.
every year. That movie is my comfort movie.
Yes, it's strange comfort movies.
I know. It's
I'm like, I'm gonna watch Hello Dolly because I feel that, and you're like, I'm gonna watch San Andreas.
Literally, though. I'm like,
2012.
I need to feel something.
I'm like, I want to watch someone fall in love, and you're like, I want to see destruction. But we give off completely different opposite
I was
vibes of
gonna
that.
say.
So
I definitely don't seem like someone that would watch that kind of movie as a comfort movie. Anyways, do you want to amend any of...
okay, so I was 100% right that like someone comes
Yes.
and is like, we need you to save the world. I don't see the part I guess I'm confused about is why they're going to that planet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming, I don't know if she said it in the trailer or I wasn't paying attention. But I don't know, maybe something's happening with that planet that's happening to their planet. I don't know. Maybe something's happening to their planet. They're like, hey, we know the answer is here in this place, so let's go here and see if we can figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
And they just so happen to run into Jaeger Clade. What an awful name.
They've all got pretty terrible names, to be honest.
Ethan? What kind of a name is Ethan?
Ethan's the most normal one. The main character's name
Searcher?
is Searcher.
I know, I saw that in the captions.
Yeah.
Meredith, awful name. Jeez. Who names their child president? I'm right. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so...
That's
and-
actually a hilarious name.
Yeah,
Her name
yeah,
is President
and-
Johnson.
My name is President. Yeah, and the son, like, resents grandfather, and baby Ethan is like, I love my grandpa, he's so cool. Dad, how come you never told me about how cool my grandpa was? And Turner's like, because he's not cool, he's the worst. And the grandpa's like, I don't really know what's happening, but I still love my family. And I'm gonna call this right now. I think the grandpa dies at the end of the movie. I think Grandpa Jaeger Clade sacrifices himself. He realizes that he has never done anything for his son, and in that moment, he's like, I have to sacrifice myself in order to save my son and his family. And as he's dying, he's like, I'm proud of you, son! And I don't know, he gets eaten by a thing or whatever. Anyway, that's what I'm calling right now.
Okay.
Don't let me know right now if I'm right.
I won't, because that's the end of the movie. We gotta read through the rest
Don't
of
tell me right now. No spoilers. Yes. I guess I didn't change much of my thing.
Yeah. Just a couple details.
Yeah. I guess I really just don't know why they're there. That's my biggest.
The setup is the nebulous part. Which, honestly, with this movie, the setup and stuff is the most unpredictable bit. Although when I'm watching it, I kind of called the twist later, like while I was
Don't
watching it.
tell me there's a twist.
I won't tell you.
Jaeger Clade was the one who created that world in the first place, and that's why there's a problem. And he dies. Okay.
Oh, okay, cool. So let's get started with the plot.
Now that I know there's a twist.
So,
No, wait, that planet is their planet, but in, like, the future.
Ooh.
Okay, those are my two calls for the
Your
twist.
two calls for the twist. Okay.
One of those is possibly true, but no matter what, Jaeger dies.
I'm going to tell you one of them is warmer than the other one.
Oh!
Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
Of course.
It's their planet in the past. I'm kidding. Am I really now? Am I hot? Am I scorching? Am I on fire?
Okay, so, in Avalonia, again, horrible, weird name. Isn't that like the name of the frozen king? Whatever. In Avalonia, a land surrounded by an endless wall of mountains.
Okay.
Jaeger Clade and his 15-year-old son, Searcher, are adventurers who brave the wilderness to explore new worlds.
Okay.
While trying to traverse the mountains, Searcher discovers a green plant that gives off energy. Searcher and the rest of the expedition team decide to return to Avalonia with the plant, while Jaeger angrily continues his mission alone.
Ugh, classic.
Yes.
Toxic man. Okay.
Yes, there's like a whole thing in the opening sequence that really sets up that like this is Jaeger's bread and butter, but Searcher is like not really suited for it. Kind of just along there, always has to be like taken care of by his dad or whatever, and he finds this plant and he's like this is a great scientific discovery, like we should use this sort of thing. Everyone's like, yeah, let's do this. But Jaeger's big thing is he wants to know what's over the mountains. He wants to get over the mountains. But like every time they climb the mountains, there's like more mountains and more mountains. So like that's like Jaeger's biggest thing. He's like, I want to get over these freaking mountains.
The grass is always greener on the other side kind of deal. Okay.
Yeah, he's a very like, I have to keep going. I have to see this through the end. But Searcher's like, we should just go back now. And everyone else does, including the future president who is on the search team with Searcher when they were younger. Okay, so they return. 25 years later, a now 40-year-old Searcher has made a name.
He looks good for 40.
He looks real good for 40. Has made a name for himself by introducing the miracle plant dubbed Pando as a fuel source for Avalonia.
Okay.
Yes. So, I'm thinking of things now. Anyways, so yeah.
Things are starting to make sense.
Things are starting to, yeah. So, also, the opening sequence, I will say, is really fun because it's like an old school adventure comic book. And it's kind of very like Indiana Jonesy sort of thing, like Pulp Fiction-y comic book stuff like from the 70s. It's just super cool. Anyways, and then they go into like the 3D and stuff. So yeah, this plant is now a fuel source for Avalonia. It has like a statue. Everyone knows him. He's like the top farmer of this stuff. And they've basically gone from like
a famous farmer.
Yeah, he's a famous farmer because he's also technically like an energy tycoon.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
Like it's literally like a battery, so it's very kind of solar punk-ish in a way. They've got like flying balloons and flying machines and stuff. It's like kind of futuristic and all that. It's cool. He and his wife Meridian are Pando farmers.
The Meridian Line?
Yes, that's exactly how her name is spelled. She's a pilot.
I hope her last name is Line.
Her last name would be Clade.
No, I mean like her
maiden name.
Her maiden name. It was Meridian Line.
Maybe. So they're Pando farmers. While
Disney, y'all need to pay me big bucks because I've got amazing ideas and also you stole my image. Okay.
While their son Ethan has a crush on his friend Diazo and chafes at his father's expectations that he will become a farmer as well. So there's like this cute scene where Ethan and they have like this dog and Ethan like goes out and his friends are coming over and they're like, hey, Mr. Ethan's dad, and they're geeking out about like this board game release because they're like a bunch of board game nerds and they're like, which card did you get? Oh my god, it's exclusive, blah blah blah. And then Diazo's there and Ethan's like super awkward and obvious about it. It's hilarious and cute. And like it's clear all the friends know and like Diazo seems like he likes him too. They're just like Diazo's like too cool for school and Ethan's like like the whole time. And then like the dad sees and he's like, let me go out and be a supportive father.
No!
I think he knows he's like, is that the one he has a crush on or whatever? And he's like, let me go out there and be like, cool dad.
No, cool dad would let them be, please.
Yeah, and Ethan's like, oh my god, please go away. And they have like these little like card things. I think like Ethan got like the farmer one. And he's like, oh, I don't want this. Like being a farmer is like fine, but that's just not me. And Diazo has like, he's like, I'll trade with you. This seems more your style. And it says like adventurer on it. And Ethan's like, oh. Yeah.
He totally gets me. I like my dad.
Yeah, exactly. And like, it's also obvious that like the relationship between Ethan and his father, it's not like a typical, like, it's not a bad relationship. It's like, clearly the dad loves him and Ethan loves his father. It's just, he is also a teenager and like trying to do his way. And the dad is like, really trying his best to be like the best dad possible because his relationship with his dad was so bad it like influences everything he does. He's like, I'm going to be the best dad ever. And so it's clear he's a good dad and a good husband and everything, but like, and like not like too overbearing, but he's certainly like trying really hard. He's like I'm checking off all the boxes. I've read all the baby books and all the parenting books. I'm doing everything right, but not really listening to like or picking up on the actual signs his son is giving him. Yeah. But it was still nice to see like this is a healthy relationship. So one night, Callisto Mall, the president of Avalonia, and one of Jaeger's one of Jaeger's this is Lucy Liu, former expedition teammates shows up in her airship, the Venture, and informs the Clades that Pando is losing its power. Which was foreshadowed earlier when they're checking the crops and they notice that like their Pando is like there's something wrong with it.
Okay.
And they don't know why. Also, this earlier they're like driving to town or something, and there's like a conversation between the dad and the son about kind of like being a farmer. And the dad's like, "Oh no, yeah, you're gonna be a farmer. Like, no worries." And then the kid's like, "Oh, I don't know. Like, can you tell me about Grandpa or whatever?" And he's like, "No, Grandpa was like not a good guy. Like, you don't want to be like him. You know, you're just gonna inherit the farm. It's gonna be great, and you know, we're always gonna be best buds." And Ethan's like, I don't really want that, but I don't know how to tell that to my dad. So, anyways, so skipping forward. That airship landing, that's the president, Callisto, and she was there during the expedition, and she's like, it's not just your crops, it's Pando everywhere, it's losing power. And she's like, Searcher, you're like, you discovered this thing, and you're the premier expert, can you like help us? Like, if anyone knows why this would be failing, it would be you. And so he joins an expedition to travel into a giant sinkhole.
Okay.
In which the roots of Pando have been located. So we're getting a lot of Journey to the Center of the Earth vibes here.
Okay.
Yeah. And so he's like, okay, fine, I'll do it for like the duty of, you know,
the
helping
duty.
things. Yeah, he's like, I don't want to do this, but I'll do it because you're asking me to, and it should just be like quick and easy out, and we're just checking, and that'll be it. I'll be back by morning, sort of thing. Meridian chases after them in her crop duster to find Ethan, who stows away on the Venture with their dog. Because he had asked. He's like, Dad, can I come with you?
He's like, no,
it's too dangerous. Yeah, exactly. Their dog's name is Legend. But when the
Legend.
But when the crop duster is destroyed in an attack by red wyvern-like creatures, she joins the expedition as well. Which is also the pilot that we see. He gets fully eaten and just like he's dead. Like
no,
that scene in the trailer.
He's not dead, right? Because I did like him.
No, that scene in the trailer where it's like and like eats him, like he's gone. We never see him again. He is a dead man. I'm like, I just saw an on-screen death.
I just saw an on-screen death. I am not okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god. And then now they're out a pilot. So Callisto's like, well, your wife is a pilot. Can she pilot this? And she's like, I've never piloted anything this big before, but I'll figure it out. So that's how the pilot dies, so the wife can be the pilot. The Venture crash lands in a subterranean world.
Whoa, and it's so strange.
So strange. They're in the middle.
Strange world.
Yep. And Searcher and Legend are separated from the group. They are attacked by a creature called a Reaper, but are rescued by Jaeger, who has been living underground all these years.
What is, like a mole man? Okay.
Yeah.
Just a creepy little mole man.
Yeah. He has been trying to cross the mountains from below, but is blocked by an acidic ocean, and states his intention to board the Venture to attempt to cross it. Meanwhile, Ethan sneaks away from the Venture to find his father. He befriends an amorphous blue creature, naming it Splat, before being reunited with Searcher, Legend, and Jaeger. They are attacked by more Reapers, but are rescued by Meridian and Callisto and return to Venture. So,
this is why women need to be in charge. Yeah.
An important thing to note here, when Ethan is making friends with the Splat creature, initially the dynamic is this Splat creature is like, he's like, oh, will you help me like find my dad or whatever? And then the Splat creature's like, okay, like, sure, I'll help you find your dad. And it like leads him somewhere. Then it leads him to like the Reapers sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
So, and then while this is happening, Clade is kind of telling his son, like Jaeger's telling his son, like, oh, you got to be careful because like these things, they're like scouts, so like bring you to this thing and like eat you if you're not careful. But Ethan is so like oblivious to all this and not fully following this like creature that it's like delaying everything a really long time. And the creature ends up touching, like, the Pando or whatever. Because they have, like, these Pando, like, grenade ball things.
Okay.
And it, like, hurts itself. And Ethan's like, oh, my God, no, like, you hurt yourself or whatever. And he's like, it's okay. And he like kind of wraps like a scarf or something around him and like is trying to take care of him. So then this creature like now feels bad for trying to lure his kid.
He's like, am I doing something bad?
Yeah, he's like, oh, he like took care of me and I don't know how to feel about it. So then he tries to like call off the Reapers, and then together it, along with the father and the grandfather, when they all reunite, they like help save Ethan from it.
Okay.
So that's like how that's kind of happening. And then while all that is happening, they're rescued by Meridian and Callisto and they're brought back to the Venture. Yes. Searcher insists on completing their mission, while Jaeger wants to continue journeying across the strange world.
Of course.
Yeah, so they start fighting. Ethan becomes frustrated with them and their opposing worldviews. Also, during this area, like, Ethan's really excited to meet his grandfather, and this is where, like, the grandpa's, like, showing him that he's the flamethrower, and he's asking him all these questions because he's never met him before and everything. And there's also, like, he's noticing that the grandpa and his dad are, like, way more similar than they realize.
Yeah.
Like, they like lounge on the thing the same way, or they have like a similar walking style or whatever. So there's like some humor there. He's like talking to the mom and she's like, yeah, he's a lot more like his dad than he wants to admit. And then they try playing like this board game that Ethan's like a big fan of, which is like kind of looks like Settlers of Catan sort of thing. He's like, let's play a game, like a bonding activity or whatever. And he's like, okay, this and this is happening. Like, what do you do? And Jaeger is like, we kill them all. Like, we hack through and we brute force our way through. And then Searcher's like, no, we gotta, like, do this and this or whatever. Like, be stealthy about it, blah, 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 blah. And then Ethan is like, no, that's not the point of the game. You're supposed to, like, cooperate with the environment. Like, it's a cooperative game. You don't need to kill anything or, like, strategize or anything. Like, it's a cooperative game where you move forward and work with the environment and the animals or whatever. But, like, the dad and the grandpa are, like, not getting it. So then Ethan gets really frustrated. He's like, you two are like literally the same. But then after that is when the father and like his father sort of bond a little better. And they're talking about Ethan and stuff. There's like this scene where the grandpa asks Ethan, he's like, oh, do you have like a girl you like at home or whatever? Like, what's her name? And Ethan's like, oh, well, his name is this and this. The grandpa's like, okay, cool. Like, well, here's what you got to do to impress him, sort of thing. Like, that sort of thing. So like, that's all happening. After another wild encounter, so yeah, Searcher and Jaeger finally have a heart-to-heart talk and realize that they do respect each other's goals in life. I don't remember how that conversation happens, but
they now respect each other.
they have a heart-to-heart. I don't remember like what. I think Jaeger's like, oh, I failed things, but you know, I wanted to make this big discovery for you, sort of thing, or whatever. You know, like they're realizing, you know. Because Jaeger keeps, like, putting down Searcher as, like, yo, you're a farmer. Like, what the heck, blah, 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 blah. But then later he's like, well, you know, you made something. You know, I could never do that. I'm just, like, this kind of guy, and vice versa. Eventually, they find a cluster of Pando's roots, which is being attacked by the strange world's creatures. Yeah.
Okay.
When Searcher learns that Ethan wants to explore more of the strange world, he blames Jaeger's influence on him. So Ethan starts panicking. He keeps seeing, there's like this recurring joke where he looks at Ethan and Ethan's face turns into his father's face. And then his son basically turns into his father, which is like his greatest fear. So like that sort of thing is happening. So he starts blaming Jaeger about it. Frustrated with Searcher, Ethan jumps off the Venture and onto one of the Reapers. So Ethan's very like, I don't want to be a farmer, blah, 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 blah. You know, like, you're smothering me too much. You're just like your father. You know, your dad wanted you to be an explorer and you didn't want to, but you want me to be a farmer and I don't want to be a farmer. Like, you're just like him. You know, you didn't learn. Generational trauma. Making the same mistakes. So Searcher follows him aboard a small flying vehicle, but as they are reconciling, they realize that they have passed through the mountains to the ocean beyond.
Whoa.
Where they see the eye of a giant turtle-like creature. The two realize that Avalonia is on the creature's back and that they have been traveling through its body, meaning that the Reapers and all the other creatures are its immune system.
What?
What? Seeing that Pando is an infection attacking the creature's heart, they head back to inform the expedition team that Pando must be destroyed. But Callisto has them locked up to prevent them from stopping the mission. while Jaeger furiously sails off to sea for himself. Because Callisto's like, we can't go back. Like, we were literally in the Stone Age, whatever. Like, it's like the equivalent of they just discovered electricity, and he's telling them we can't use electricity anymore.
Okay.
And she's like, we can't do that. We've made so much progress. I came here to save the Pando. We need to keep this. But he's like, but if you destroy the like if you keep the Pando, then the actual planet or the world we live on is going to die, and it's going to be worse for us long term. But Callisto's like not listening to it.
Classic politician move.
Classic politician move. However, Legend and Splat release the family. To stop Pando from killing the creature, Searcher and Ethan head to its heart to clear a path for the Reapers, while Meridian takes over the ship and convinces Callisto to help. Jaeger returns, and before he sees what's on the outside, he returns. And with his help, they break through Pando. Because Jaeger's kind of upset, like, you saw what was beyond the thing, like, without me, like, you saw it before me, like, this is my whole life goal, and you just did it, and now you're back, like, it's no big deal, blah, blah, blah. Anyways. But his sacrifices, he decides to come back and help them, because they're, like, struggling. Yeah. Creatures appear and destroy Pando, bringing the heart back to life and saving the land. I think there's, like, a moment where it feels like they were too late and that the heart like stopped and they're like, oh no, like we were too late, it killed it, blah 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 blah. But then or like maybe we made the wrong decision and it was actually helping it or something like that. But then it comes back and they're like, yay, we fixed it. And then Jaeger, I think they take Jaeger to go out to like see it finally. They're like, one last ride, you wanted to see this thing, we're gonna show you. 1 year later, Ethan is in a relationship with Diazo as they and their friends collect resources from the strange world. Avalonia has shifted from Pando energy to wind turbines. Jaeger revisits his ex-wife Penelope, who has remarried during his absence, and Searcher and Jaeger's relationship has improved. And that's the movie.
So, like, the acidic ocean would be like its stomach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like and it's like shooting stuff up. And there's like all this stuff, and they're like, we don't even know how to navigate through this. But then the little like amoeba, which is basically like the white blood cell or whatever, yeah. It's like, oh, I'll guide you through here. So they have like this moment where they're just like around until they get to the other side, and then they never have to deal with it again. You just assume that they keep doing that every time they have to cross that. And it's kind of like. Yeah, they have like these giant walking like giraffe things or whatever, and like these like what looks like these schools of birds or fish flying through, and it's like, well, that's like the red blood cells like going in and out and stuff. So I was wondering if they were like, I was like, this looks like they're inside a body, like pretty early after we get to the middle of the world thing, and especially with like the amoeba and then the other thing, and I was like, this looks like, you know, like the immune system trying to attack these things or whatever. And then when they got to the acid part, I was like, well, this could be a stomach. And then when they were going through the mountains, like the teeth, like the mountains are the teeth, and et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, oh my god, it's like they're in an animal.
Okay, so not to be dumb. So where are they then?
So they're inside. So like Avalonia regularly is on top of this giant turtle.
So it's like on the shell.
Yeah, on the shell. Yeah, that's where everyone lives. But then to get to like they found a hole.
They like drilled through the whole whatever.
Yeah, like this shell, and then they came inside. And that's where they've been spending most of it. So they're like literally like they start in just like it looks like the respiratory system, which like there's like these things that these tree things that literally look like
like the whatever.
Yeah, the sort of thing.
Or whatever they're called.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, this is like the respiratory system, and then here's the stomach, and then we found like the heart, and then there's like the teeth, and then the tongue, and blah 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 whatever. So I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, that's really fun, and like when you're watching it, knowing it, it's kind of obvious, but if you don't know, it just looks really alien. But it reminded me of, you know, that gif of like, this is what the happy chemical looks like, and it's like the little weird thing doing the walk. It's like someone imaged what like serotonin literally looks like under like a microscope, and it like literally looks like it's walking, dragging.
I've never
like
seen
a thing.
That.
Oh, well, it's like a nervous system thing where it's like dragging it along. But because I had seen that, And other examples of like cells looking like things. I think I picked up on it kind of early, but I feel like
Mm-hmm.
anyone would probably start being like, "Oh, this feels like a body. Like, I wonder if we're in a body." And then you get it, and you're like, "Oh, yes, this is satisfying." So,
Okay.
yeah. And then Ethan definitely there's like a through line of like maybe he's not like an explorer, but he's definitely like has a connection with like animals and things like that. Like he makes friends. He's a lot more cooperative than Jaeger or Searcher, and he's more like in tune with the environment and trying to find like a we shouldn't kill them, we should work together with it sort of thing. So he's like leading the cause on that. So, but yeah,
Mm.
what did you think?
Okay, so I think I was it this season or last season? I think it was last season. Um, of how what we do in the shadows. There's a scene where Namor learns that the Earth is round, and he literally was like, "I always assumed that the world was on top of a giant tortoise or like a giant turtle." So as soon as you said they were on top of a turtle, that's all I can think about. So I just want to preface with that.
It made me think of Discworld.
I don't know what that is.
It's like, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it sounds good. It sounds cute.
hmm
Um, I'll watch it someday.
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I guess it's not like, I'm not like overwhelmed with amazingness.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm not underwhelmed either. It's just like okay.
hmm Yeah. Like, it's cute,
Yeah.
I think. It's giving me very like Atlantis meets Indiana Jones with like a touch of Treasure Planet in it. Um,
I can see all of that.
yeah. With like a
Treasure
really,
Planet's so
really
good.
diverse cast, which I
Mhm.
really enjoyed. Like, I
Mhm.
think the only white person is Jaeger and arguably Searcher, but even Searcher, it's kind of like, is he fully? It's a little racially ambiguous. I don't remember what the wife looks like. Um, but that was nice to see. Like the queerness was nice to see. The character design, like the world felt really built out.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it was really nice, and I enjoyed watching it. It was entertaining. I liked watching it, and I really enjoyed the portrayal of like a positive relationship between a father and his son, and like his wife is still alive and he has a very loving relationship with his wife and they're like openly affectionate with each other. Like this family is like super in sync with each other, and it was nice to see like an interracial marriage with like a mixed race kid, and he's queer, and there's like but it's like a part of him, but it's not the only part of him. He's got like a bigger thing going on, and his parents are super supportive. Um, so I really enjoyed it. I think it was a shame they didn't market it, and kind of intentional that they chose not to market it because I think it would have done way better if they had marketed it way better. Because it bombed at the box office, but I
Mm.
don't think that should reflect on the quality of the actual
I
film.
just don't think the trailer was that like I don't know, like enticing. Like it's not that I don't know. Like I guess I understand like they need to keep the twist secret.
hmm
Um but I don't know, like I know I'm like, oh I wanna see this, but it wasn't something I was like, I have to see this. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Um yeah, I think it's you can blame it on the marketing for sure.
hmm
Because even like when I remember seeing like the 30-second spot, like when they
hmm
just even like it was like okay, but what else? I don't know. I felt
Yeah.
like it what they didn't do good marketing for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, I thought it came out in February.
Yeah.
It apparently didn't, so just completely not with it.
Yeah, it's the like there was one billboard and like the trailers, first of all, they released the trailers on YouTube. I don't even think they ran the trailers in like on TV or anything like that. and I never saw a trailer in like any movie.
I saw a trailer at the theater.
Yeah.
That's how I saw the trailers.
Yeah.
I saw like a 30-second spot, and then I think I saw that one trailer we watched earlier.
Yeah.
My hair is just gonna be like this now.
I know, I've noticed. But like I saw like it's like a skippable trailer on YouTube, so like no one's gonna watch it all the way through.
Yeah.
And like I feel like there's so much they could have done with the marketing. Like the font is literally like Indiana Jones DuckTales sort of font, and it's clearly inspired by like the pulp sci-fi comic book stuff. Like they could have played that up really big because like that's popular right now. Like it's vintage, it's retro, but it's also like new and kind of futuristic-y. There's a lot they could have done to really market it, and they chose not to. Like they intentionally were like, we're not going to
Once
market
again,
it.
Disney failed to contact us.
Yeah, literally. So, and then like once it hit streaming, it was like, oh, now it's popular, and it's like, I wonder why. So, anyways, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. So, I would recommend it.
Okay.
Just very cute.
I guess I give it a 3 out of 5. Because I guess I have to explain this rating. Again, like I don't know. I still think it's interesting, and I still think I'm gonna watch it. But it's not like I'm like, oh, I have to watch this.
Yeah, I can see that because like immediately after watching the movie, I was like, oh, I have to like see this with Jesse because I think Jesse would really like it, But then I kept delaying watching it again because I was like, I don't know if I want to watch. Like I enjoyed the movie, but after I let it simmer for a little bit, I haven't felt as strong a need to like rewatch it. So that might be saying something about it. Whereas there are definitely other movies. Like I saw Encanto pretty quickly again after.
I watched that movie so many times in the span of like a month.
Yeah. And there are definitely other movies where I'm like, I just saw this, I'm gonna like watch it immediately again, or I'm gonna watch it again like a week later or something. Like I've definitely gone to the movie theater like twice for certain movies. Like I saw Glass Onion twice. I saw Knives Out. I think I saw Knives Out once, but I saw Glass Onion twice.
I watched Glass Onion like 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Still haven't seen Knives Out, but I watched Glass Onion.
What did you think of Glass Onion?
I liked it.
Yeah, right?
It was good. It was fun.
It was cute. I love Benoit Blanc. I love him. I love Daniel Craig as that character.
I love Daniel Craig, like, just doing anything. I think he's hilarious. But yeah. I mean, I have some gripes about the storytelling, but, I think I just don't like what this. I just don't think he's a good storyteller.
Rian Johnson.
Yeah, but I did like the Benoit Blanc character. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
He's perfect.
So good.
Like honestly, I think I could watch like 20 movies of him.
Yes.
Like I really could. Like him just solving crimes, and I feel like does he really even solve crimes? Like he's just sort of there to just talk, and I love that. I love that. Like it's like. Because honestly, I would love to go somewhere and just bullshit my way through like a mystery. I love how he's like, "Are we starting now? I'm gonna solve the mystery," and he just solves it, and it was just, and Edward Norton was just like
fuming,
so
mad when he like sits down, just like, oh my god, hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, that movie was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that movie. I watched it with my family and they didn't really like it, but I was like, I kind of like it. And then I watched it with Jesse. Jesse was like, I like that. I was like, yeah, I like it. I mean, clearly I liked it to watch it again. I was like, I want to watch this because that movie has pretty strong rewatchability. Like I was looking out for certain things on the second watch.
Yeah.
So, but this movie, like. I think you could rewatch it. Just, I don't know. For me, I needed a little more time to simmer. It's just not an immediate, I have to rewatch this. But it is fun, and I recommend it. And it's like, it literally feels like this is a movie Tumblr has been begging Disney to make for like ever.
That's so specific.
That's just what it felt like. And
still kind of don't know what that means.
Yeah.
So.
Well, just like the whole like we want like representation and
Mm.
this, you know, like diversity and queer representation, and that's like in there, and it's also like not about what makes them different. It's about this sci-fi whatever story. So yeah, it was just a cute movie with
Mm.
some nice touching family stuff. And like kind of touches on like toxic masculinity and how to translate that into positive masculinity, which again, I really liked the father figure because I thought he exemplified like a really good example for men to go for, like a softer ideal of a man, whereas his father is like this really stereotypical masculine ideal of a man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I thought it was nice. I felt like it was a good movie for like a guy, or like a boy or something like that. Like obviously I enjoyed it, but it felt like the
Mm-hmm.
audience was sort of like soft men that had a bad relationship with their father that are trying to
Uh-huh.
be better and like struggling a little bit, and like gently reminding too, like you're better than your father, but you still have blind spots and you need to be aware of it, which I think is an important message for men to have and people
Mm-hmm.
to have in general. But yeah, I think I would give this movie like a 3.5 out of 5. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, maybe like a 4 when I first watched it, and then when I think about it and let it simmer a little bit, like more of a 3.5. But it was really good. So yeah, that's the episode. Bonzi, where can they find you?
Oh,
Oh,
jeez. I think Magic Monster is my Instagram.
we think
Gatito George is my cat's Instagram.
yes.
I should post one of those selfies
You
on there because he
should,
looks so cute.
please.
I'm just really bad at updating.
I know.
Fine, I'll do that right now.
And you can find me at Korean is Korean on Instagram or Twitter. And yeah, thanks for listening. Let us know if you watch this movie, what you think. And we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.